Welcome to Thornton Now. My name is Heidi Williams and I am the mayor of the city of Thornton. I am here with Jan Coleman. She's the mayor pro tem of the city of Thornton. And we're going to talk to you today a little bit about some of our capital projects that we have recently approved in our budget, which was done on Tuesday night. And so one project that I wanted to highlight first, which was actually approved last year, was the Trailwinds Recreation Center. And that's going to be completed toward the end of this year. Talk to us a little bit about the Trailwinds Recreation Center and why you think your constituents are going to be excited about that.
You know, Trailwinds is something that I think for the last 20 years the people of Thornton have been looking forward to. And in Ward 3 on the northeast corner of the city, it's an area that's growing really, really fast. And we need some opportunities for people to go outside and recreate, go inside and recreate when the weather is bad, and go swimming and work out and have a place for their kids to play. So I think it's something we're really excited about and can't wait for it to open in November.
I agree. I actually used to live right across from Margaret Carpenter Rec Center, and it is always at capacity. I know that my children always had to go to Westminster for swimming lessons, and so now I'm so excited that Thornton residents are going to be able to have swimming lessons in Thornton because we won't be at capacity all the time, and so I think it'll be really amazing. And I'm excited that it'll be opening up, I think, around November, so that's really exciting. And you were on council alongside with me and I think Councilmember Tade when we approved that several years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but it's pretty exciting. It's finally here.
It has, and it's my understanding there's going to be a rock climbing wall, obviously swimming facilities. It's located next to the Veterans Aquatic Center, so it'll be a nice balance. We've moved it over a little bit closer to 136th and Hawley because the parking situation was going to be rough with the Aquatic Center. And so hopefully there will be lots of parking for everyone and it'll be an exciting time. So
definitely. You can even see the slides outside. I know every time we drive by it, my kids get super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, so very cool. All right. The next thing that maybe isn't quite as sexy, but still very, very important is that we are building a new water treatment plant. Talk to us a little bit about why that's important for the city.
You know, this water treatment plant was built in the 50s, and it's a long time coming again to make sure that we have clean, drinkable water for our community. We want to make sure that we're doing things that are friendly for the environment, making sure we solve some of the smell issues that we've been having with our water quality. I mean, I know in the summers we get a lot of algae problems, and this is going to be one of the ways that we can fix that problem. You know, I'm an engineer, so it's kind of exciting for me to see this grow and see this get built and see it come into the city in a way that is clean and efficient, and you know, it's great to see it happening.
Yeah, and it's you know, exciting for me because the water tanks will be staying there. So years ago, council approved the mural on the water tanks that really do represent the city of Thornton. And so those will stay there, but the old water treatment will be leveled and the new one will go online. So we are excited about that. And again, the water is always safe to drink, but it does at times have an odor when we have those algae blooms. So this will be a great addition to the city of Thornton.
Definitely.
We continue to work on our water project, getting our pipeline built from up north. And I know you've been really involved in that. Is there any updates you can give us on that?
You know, I think the best update is that we're still on track, we're still on schedule. I've been working with the city staff. We have amazing staff members that do an incredible job working with all of the different communities, making sure that we're part of the community where we want to build our pipeline. And you know, I've been excited to be part of that project, being able to talk with the staff members about my ideas and have them included in that project.
Great. Well, thank you for all the work you're doing on that, and we'll look forward to continued updates in the next several years. So now on to public safety. So we have a new fire station that's going to be coming online. It's actually replacing one of our older fire stations on Dorothy. We refer to that as Fire Station 1. And we just had the groundbreaking. How did that go?
Yeah, that is super exciting. This is on Thornton Parkway in York, right where we hold the Harvest Fest. And I think that community is excited about it. Having a brand new fire station actually is very helpful for everybody in the area to make sure we can respond faster. One interesting thing on this one is the study that we did to make sure that the noise from the fire station wasn't going to impact the community. So we want to make sure when the cars are coming in and out that the community is not bothered, but yet at the same time feels safe and secure by having it in their community.
Well, I know that when we also got that study, it talked a lot about the boundaries and what Fire Station 1 was able to serve before. They're actually going to be able to move a little bit further north into Ward 2 and have a better response time there as well, which allows our northern fire stations to start responding further north. And so it really does make a lot of sense, not only financially, but also from a public safety perspective. So,
yeah, because we're always asking for our first responders to be able to shave time off of that time, because we don't want anyone having to wait for service.
Right.
So this is a great way of fixing those issues.
Right, and a lot of people probably don't know, but the firefighters are not just there to fight fires, but they're there to respond to medical emergencies. They actually respond to medical emergencies more than they do fires, and so it's very important that they have good response time. So,
yeah, and this is long overdue. And it'll be a beautiful facility. It was so exciting to see the groundbreak finally. You know, I can't wait for it to be open.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for doing the groundbreaking for me. I was out of town at a conference, and so I really appreciate that.
Love to fill in for you.
Thank you. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break for a public service announcement, and we'll be right back to talk about a few more projects we have coming online.
My husband's a Thornton firefighter.
My dad is a Thornton firefighter.
My son is a Thornton firefighter.
My cousin is a Thornton firefighter.
My daddy is a Thornton firefighter.
My brother's a Thornton firefighter. We are Thornton firefighters.
This is part of our Thornton Fire family. Please help keep our family safe while we are keeping yours safe by moving to the right for sirens and lights.
Welcome back to Thornton Now. I'm Heidi Williams, the mayor of the city of Thornton, here with Mayor Pro Tem Jan Coleman. We're talking about different items that we have recently approved in our capital projects. The next thing we want to talk about is our Active Adult Center that's coming online. This is going to take our current Active Adult Center, previously known as the Senior Center, that's on Dorothy Boulevard, and moving it over to 112th and Colorado. So you were at the groundbreaking with me. How did you think that went?
You know, I think it was great. We had a lot of people that have been involved in this project for years come to the groundbreaking to celebrate with us. We had several former elected officials. We had a former mayor, a former council member, and we had a lot of participation from the community. I think everybody's really excited to see this happen.
I agree, and we had a lot of members of our Thornton Active Adult Board that were there, some of whom are former elected officials. So Mayor Noel Busk and others were there to help us celebrate, and really we're excited about that. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for our active adult citizens to go and participate there. We'll also have transportation, so I know that was one thing that a lot of the citizens were concerned about.
Right.
Was like, well, how are we going to get there if we live in the south side of the city or the far north side of the city? So
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I know we've talked about busing, we've talked about ride sharing opportunities, working with some of the commercial aspects of how we can get people there. I know on the south side of the city where the Active Adult Center is now is a booming area, and the people love the location. I was just there for Harvest Fest for a pancake breakfast, and it's a great spot. But I think having something more centralized in the city allows participation from the entire city instead of just one small area. So I think this will be a great addition.
Well, and there will be parking.
Yes, which is huge, because when I was at the pancake breakfast, I didn't have a parking spot.
Yeah, everybody's parking on the street. You have to walk, which
Right.
is obviously not great for some of our older citizens who might, have some limited mobility. So this will be a much better location for them. So the Active Adult Center too is located right next door to Margaret Carpenter Park. And so that'll be a nice opportunity. We have a lot of active adults already that are going to the Margaret Carpenter Center to swim and use those facilities. And so this will be, I think, a nice benefit.
Definitely. I think it makes it easier for people to get there and use all of the amenities that we have instead of having to piecemeal it out through different parts of the city.
Exactly. And then at Trailwinds, we will have a few opportunities for the active adults there as well. But we really do want to have most of our programming in one central location. So thank you for being one of the council members that approved that. Actually, it was a unanimous decision.
It was. I think it was pretty easy for all of us on council to say yes to this.
It really was. I mean, at first we did have some pushback from the citizens who, use the Dorothy location because they were concerned about transportation and, just having something different. But I think that everybody's now very excited about that and what's going to come of that. So very cool. Okay, so we recently approved in this budget our police training center. Can you talk a little bit about why we need that?
Well, this is actually something new and different for us, I think, as a city. We've been sending our police department out for training in other cities, and it's been very difficult and very expensive to do that. When we have to send officers outside of our city to be able to do any training whatsoever, it's time they're not spending in our city. So having our own training facility that we can actually rent out to other cities as needed is a great benefit to our community.
Yeah, I mean, so we're sending officers up to Longmont. We're sending officers to the Adams County training facility, both of which are pretty far out there. And so taking, at least an hour, if not more, drive time to get there. And so this police training center will be located off of Riverdale. And so it won't be, in an urban area where, it'll be disruptive. It'll be actually in a very good location where they can have a shooting range, a driving track, and those sorts of things that really help them do their job better.
Yeah, and kudos to the police department for being so creative over the years to solve this problem.
Right.
But I think it's a great time for it to be built in our city so that we can bring them back home.
Sure. I know they a lot of times will do different drills in the high schools and in big buildings, that people will let them kind of borrow. But it'll be nice, and they'll probably still use that to an extent, but it'll be nice to have our own facility where we have control of the schedule and we can get our men and women in and out of there and get them trained the proper way. So thank you again to council for doing that. And I know that was something that Councilman Matkowski really pushed. He's a police officer in Westminster. He really pushed that. But the council all jumped on board and said, yeah, this is something we really need for our community.
I mean, safety of our community is our biggest priority.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure we have all the opportunities available.
Absolutely. Finally, one of the really fun things for people who like baseball.
Yes, and I'm a baseball family.
I know
so.
you are. I know you are. Your family's a big baseball family. So we have the Riverwalk ball fields that opened up earlier this year. And since you are the baseball family, I'm going to defer to your knowledge of baseball. Talk to us about what how that's been for the community, because I know I've had positive comments about that.
Oh yeah, this is great. I travel all over the metro area for baseball with my family, and this is one of the nicest ballparks that I've been to. It has covered seating for the parents to sit at so we don't get sunburned, or if it's raining a little bit, we have a little bit of shade. It's got a playground for the kids because my daughter doesn't always like to watch my son play baseball, so she has a place to go play. And it has batting cages, which is huge because we don't have any places that we can go outside and hit balls without having to worry about whose window we're going to break. So having a batting cage right in Thornton is a great add to our city.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really, really beautiful facility right off of 100th and Riverdale. So we're very thankful to the city for coming up with that. About 3 years ago, I know that some of the baseball associations came to the city council, came to one of my stakeholder meetings that I hold, and they were really pushing us to find a nice place for that. We have a location up north that at some point may be a future site, but it made more sense financially for us to put this one on Riverdale because we already have the utilities there. So that's some of the boring stuff that we have to take into account when we're passing a budget and looking for locations. But in the end, the result has turned out wonderful. So,
yeah, and it's very easy to get to, and there's a lot of amenities nearby, so you can run and go grab something quick to eat in between games. So something nice to have instead of just the boring baseball fields that sometimes you see.
That's right. Well, and when we have these nice baseball tournaments in our city, subsequently people are going and eating and shopping in our community, and so we are benefiting from the sales tax revenue of that as well. So everything that goes along with that is a positive, and so we're thankful to our staff who all made that happen. And really, our staff has made all of these projects happen. The city council may have the vision and we may approve it, but at the end of the day, the staff is who makes all of this happen and come true. So
yes, and it's great seeing our vision come to life.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to add about these projects and others that we've approved that you think that the citizens would like to know?
Yeah, we have grown so much in this city over the last few years. It's been incredible. It's been a little frustrating because we have a lot of growth happening all at one time, but all of these projects that we've talked about are so needed in the community, and that growth is helping us get there.
Wonderful. Yeah, growth does pay for itself, as they say. And so we are doing our very best job to make sure that everything is happening the proper way.
Well, it's great to be able to play, live, and work in the same place, and all of these projects bring that forward.
That's right. That's right. And we do a really good job of planning for our city, making sure that we are. Right now, we're working on our comprehensive plan, which is a visioning tool for the city. We're always at least 10 to 20 years out in our planning and making sure that we're doing the right thing for our citizens. So I appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Sorry it took so long for me to get here.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming, and I look forward to seeing you all next time on Thornton Now.